All right, happening now, if you go to UNM, you better get up and get at them because it is back to school today, and it might be a little more crowded there than normal. This year's freshman class is expected to be about 4% bigger than last year's. That is about 3,400 students. UNM's Dean of Students has set up a new Facebook page for all freshmen so they can interact with each other and talk with student orientation leaders. Particularly, they can ask any questions or deal with any concerns they might have. All students will be able to use a new website called Degrees Map to make sure they graduate in a reasonable amount of time. You want to stay off that 6-year plan, and they have a one-stop kiosk to help them get around if they get a little lost on the big campus.
So if they need to locate where their classes are, if they need to find out where financial aid is, we have someone there housed all the time to be able to guide students to the right direction so they'll know exactly where they need to go.
Hey, there you go. Sometimes it's kind of easy to get lost on the first day. One of the one-stop kiosks is in the Student Services building that's just east of the Student Union building. Hopefully you can find that to find out where you need to go. All right, football season is not that far away. We're excited, and high school players in Albuquerque already have something to celebrate. For the first time in 50 years, football teams have a new place to call home. Take a look at this. People all around the community got a sneak peek at the $38 million West Side Sports Complex this weekend. It looks like a college facility. It is beautiful. The track is not done just yet, but the football field, it is good to go for some pigskin.
It means a lot to the West Side because they don't have a stadium. In fact, it means a lot to APS too, and we hope it means a lot to the community.
All right, there are some colleges that don't have stadiums this nice. This thing is really spiffy. Stadium seats 7,000 people. It's built like a bowl to cut down on noise and the dust that the winds tend to kick up on the west side. That'll be good. It also has an air-conditioned press box, parking for nearly 1,500 cars, and a beautiful view of the Sandias. Stadium also saves on energy with 20% of its power coming from solar panels. Can't wait till the first game. It's in a couple of weeks there. Well, as incoming UNM player Cullen Neal continues to recover, his dad and UNM head basketball coach Craig Neal is blowing off those nasty tweets from a San Diego State University fan wishing death for his son. The Neal family got back from the Lobos trip to Australia late last week. It's where Cullen Neal, a highly touted incoming freshman, had to have an emergency surgery for a ruptured appendix that led to infections that kept him in the hospital for 10 days. Now, one of San Diego State's student fans, it caused a national stir when he wrote a series of tweets. They were disgusting, wishing Cullen more pain, even death. Now, he didn't talk about this, but his dad did.
I've dealt with envy and jealousy before, so it's nothing that Cullen hadn't dealt with for a long time. I mean, he's got big boy pants, so, you know, we just really don't have that much of comment on it.
Coach and dad right there. Cullen is still recovering. He did lose a little bit of weight while he was out there. Coach Neal isn't ruling out the possibility of redshirting his son should he struggle during his recovery. Coach says the whole ordeal made him realize just how strong his son Neal is. We're glad he's back. Hope he is doing well. Happening now at 5:34, opening statements are expected to start in just a few hours in the trial of the man accused of killing 2 tourists here in New Mexico. JohnMcCluskey escaped from a prison in Arizona back in 2010. Investigators say he killed Gary and Linda Haas, these two who were passing through a rest stop in Santa Rosa so he could steal their truck. The people agents say were with McCluskey, Tracy Province, Castle and Welch have pleaded guilty in the case. They're expected to testify against McCluskey during his trial. We will keep you updated. Well, family in Albuquerque is making a push for answers 2 years after their son was killed by a stray bullet. Andre Davis's family spent yesterday canvassing the apartment complex where he died. Davis was inside his home at the apartments in 2011 when a stray bullet came through his door, hit him in the chest, killing him. Since then, the case has left police stumped with no clues or suspects. They have no idea who did this. So the family went around putting out more than 100 flyers this weekend, hoping to find someone who knows something.
He has sons that, don't have their father. It's been 2 years, and we just want to bring attention to it not being solved yet.
Hope they find something soon. Police were originally looking for someone leaving the area in a gray or silver Dodge Magnum, but never caught that person. If you have any information in the case, please call Crime Stoppers. That number on your screen, 505-843-STOP. Well, developing now, it's all about a plan from Albuquerque's police department to get more cops on the streets and keep them there. in their proposed drop program. Those police officers who are eligible for retirement after putting into 20 years would have the option of staying on board or even coming back for another 5 years. They'd be racking up their 80% pension pay and getting a patrol officer's salary. The catch: the officers must work patrol and would only get their pension benefits after they complete their 5 years. APD says the plan could put up to 100 additional cops on the streets in the next year and a half. That means the state legislature would have to change the rules for police pensions first. Mayor R.J. Berry says he wants high standards for APD candidates and would rather keep experienced officers on the force than get new ones.
We simply will not sacrifice quality. We are not going to artificially lower our standards just to get the numbers up in the Albuquerque Police Department.
All right, mayor candidates Paul Haig and Pete Tonelli say that Mayor R.J. Berry's plan is politics as usual, and that Berry's plan to get more officers on the street is a reversal of his own policies.
The fact is that I think the mayor recognizes now we have a department in complete meltdown. 4 years ago, this department was the best paid, best equipped, and best manned in the department's history. He's trying to reinstate programs that we already had.
Mayor R.J. Berry says crime has been lowest in 20 years and the number of property crime arrests have doubled since 2009. Now, besides that drop program, Mayor R.J. Berry and Albuquerque City Council have come to a consensus on an across-the-board pay hike. 2.5% for everyone in the police department. That's in addition to hiring bonuses and forgiving student loans if officers stick with APD for 7 years. City Council is expected to sign off on the plan, but the final numbers would need to be approved from the police union. Now, something else that could come up during tonight's City Council meeting is a plan to get more officers on the streets here in Duke City and keep them here. Councilors Dan Lewis, Isaac Benton, and Don Harris say they want to introduce a plan to increase funding for APD. For the last several years, the department has fallen short of its recruitment goals. This has been no secret. So the councilors want to spend about $1 million to give officers a 2.5% pay raise, another $1 million to keep officers here, and $300,000 to help those officers pay off their student loans. If the council agrees to give the police department the money, it and the police officers union will have the final say on where it goes.